Good. How was your day?
It was good, busy but good.
Busy but good. Okay. Well, let's get
Yes.
into it because I know y'all got big plans and you just need to start getting it together. So, my first question, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Sondaya. I'm 25 years old. I'm a mom, an entrepreneur, and I have a passion for cosmetics as well as for helping people. Being able to encourage, inspire, and motivate people is one of the things that I love being able to do. And my mom is also my friend and my business partner and a lot of other things. And what else can I say? I feel like at a young age, God has blessed me with low key a old soul, but I say that with the sense of, you know, a lot of wisdom at a young age, which I'm thankful for. But that is, I feel like me in a good 30, 60, like about 60 seconds.
That was beautiful. So, and I heard that you've been priming or being mentored by your mom since you were a little girl, where you didn't
Yes.
even carry a book bag to school. You carried a briefcase. Please do tell me about that.
Yes. So my mom has been an entrepreneur literally all slash majority of my life. So while other kids were their first job might have been working for someone else, my first job at like between 7 and 9 years old was working with my mom. But there were many times I went to meetings, house closings, you name it. I was there. I was her right hand man. But yeah, I was carrying a briefcase. I had my little portfolio thing, my notebook.
Yes.
Um, and at in school there were many kids that were like, "Oh, you act like you're all of that." And I'm not gonna lie, a little side note, when I was younger, I went to a Christian school, and you know, like I said, my mom has been in entrepreneurship for a very long time. And, as a little kid, sometimes you get this feeling of, well, maybe I am a little better than a few other people. And I would go around telling people that we were rich
Oh
and we
Lord.
had a maid. And, I would always buy my friends snacks. And so one of like the guidance counselors, slash ministers at the school had pulled my mom to the side. I was like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And she was like, "Sure." Mind you, I was a really good kid. Like, I never really got talked to in school, but she was like, Zendaya's going around telling everyone that you guys are rich and you're this, and it's making the other kids feel. And so my mom had to talk to me, was like, "Zendaya, you don't go around saying that." So I mean, I guess from that moment, the biggest lesson I learned is that you don't share everything with everyone.
Right.
But yes,
And that
that statement was very true as far as me at a young age in business.
the humility of it all.
Yes, 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 yes.
So, and then with that, you've used that to launch even your own business. Tell me about your
Yes.
your cosmetic line.
Daya Luv Cosmetics. Oh my gosh. Well, first and foremost, my brand itself, our goal is to enhance, your true beauty, whether that is male, female, whomever. That is our ultimate goal, is to enhance your true beauty. I know for me, I fell in love with makeup at a very early age. I used to always watch my mom do makeup, and then I got into watching YouTube videos, learning how to do makeup. And I know for me, makeup slowly became that one thing that brought me happiness. I had got married really young, went through a really toxic relationship, a nasty divorce, and I knew prior to that I wanted to have my own cosmetic line. And sometimes, you get a place in life where you just kind of like you just push all your dreams to the side. And after I had my son, I'm like, you know what? I have to do this. at the time I was, working for someone. I'm like, you know what? I want more. I have to do this. I can't satisfy myself, be what I can be for my child, just in this state of uncertainty working for someone else, knowing that I have what it takes to be my own boss. And in that point, like in my lowest point, I had that realization, like, you know what, I want to make this happen. And slowly but surely, I got the strength, did the research, and the more I asked God as to the hows and what should I do and how can I do that, like things just started like falling into place as far as I was, doing my due diligence and researching it. And finally, May of 2020, I launched Daya Luv Cosmetics. We currently have glosses and lashes. This year, we'll be launching some more new products, and I'm super excited for it. And I was super happy to be able to partner with Convergence Resource Center here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They help women get out of domestic violence situations, help women who have been sex trafficked, and help women just overcome things that they are going through, overcome things that may try to keep them back. And the shade itself is called Overcomer. I happen to be wearing it right now. But yeah, so that's really how Daya Luv Cosmetics came about, from me wanting to do it for so long as, a child. In high school, I talked about having my own cosmetic line, to kind of losing myself for a second, finding myself, and then walking in my purpose of cosmetics. So yeah.
Love it. And I love that your lip gloss tells a story. Like every shade has a story. So why was that important for you?
The biggest reason why it was important for me was because I wanted to be able to give back. Prior to starting my own cosmetic line, I worked with Convergence Resource Center as well as Rahab's Daughter. They're two organizations that work heavily with sex trafficking and just, helping women in general. And I know for me, when I went through my divorce, I had to seek help from a program, Sojourner Truth. They're here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They help women and children that have gone through domestic violence situations, and they were like a huge help when it came to me just not being afraid, finding that strength, and ultimately finalizing my divorce. And so in going through that, I'm like, you know what, I want to be able to give back to an organization that is continually help women find their strength, find their voice, get up and make that change. I feel like the hardest thing to do, besides just, stay in your fear, is get up and, you know what, I can be fearless. I am strong, and I deserve better. I am worth more. And fighting for yourself, sometimes that is so hard, to just fight for the one person that means the absolute most, and that is yourself. So I knew I wanted to be able to help an organization like that. And ironically, in the midst of me, actually, I was at one of the events for Rahab's Daughter. I'm like, you know what, I want to be able to do this. And then fast forward a year later, I'm being able to help Convergence Resource Center. So yeah,
I love it. Your story is definitely inspiring, especially with young entrepreneurs that's just trying to figure it out. Like, because with young people, and not all, but some, bounce around to different endeavors and get bored with it when they don't see the product blossoming. So how did you get over that and just stick with the program?
Well, the one thing that really helps me is just, I have to say, just keep pushing. I'm not gonna lie, there are many times, even with my own brand, where there are moments I'm like, oh, what else can I do? Like, how can I further this? But the one thing that I really feel that keeps me motivated is why I started Daya Luv Cosmetics. I didn't just start it because it was a trend. I didn't just start it because I saw everyone else doing it, or, oh, this can make me tons of money. I started it because it was a passion. I started from a place of, you know what, I want to be able to make a difference. I want to be able to help. And sometimes in that, not every month is going to be a high. Not every moment is going to be a high moment. But in those low moments, you have to remember your why. Why did you start it to begin with? If you just started because, you know what, this is the end thing, or, you know, I can make thousands, 6 figures in 30 days. Well, then when you don't make 6 figures, you're going to quit. You're going to give up because there's nothing else. There's no foundation as to like, okay, why am I dedicated to this? Why am I staying up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on this? Why am I, you know, putting my blood, sweat, and tears into this? If you don't have a why, then when those lows come, you're gonna dip.
That's right. It is true. You have to have patience and just be able to get through it. So,
Yes.
it being entrepreneurship. So, what does self-love mean to you?
Oh, self-love means loving myself unconditionally. Um, Recognizing my imperfections, recognizing my flaws, and still accepting them regardless. I know, even though I'm 25, that is something that I struggled with for a while. I remember, ironically, I was telling this story to a part of the story to someone else, but I want to say about, it had to be like 3 or 4 years ago, like almost 5 years ago, a little bit before I had my son, and surely after I had my son, who's 3 right now. I did not love myself. Like, there were many times I would look in the mirror and I did not like what I saw, and I was just like, ugh. And overcoming that and just changing the way I saw myself really helped me to love myself, and finding those things about myself that I'm proud of. I'm proud to say that I am strong. I'm proud to say that I'm resilient, that I'm an overcomer, that I don't give up, that I'm a good mother. And remembering those things helped me to embrace, you know what? Yes, I'm a mom, and yes, I have stretch marks, but I love every inch of me. I love my highs. I love my lows. I love everything that makes me me. Because if I take one of those things away, or if I was to change it, then I wouldn't be who I am. So self-love is loving every aspect of yourself, regardless of how good it is, how bad it is. It's you. And you have to love you, especially if you want to love someone else. You can't give love or give anything that you don't already have. So we all have to practice self-love and have love within us, especially if we want to give it out.
Amen. I love it.
Yes.
So, and then with that, let's talk about one of your great business ventures. Tell me about the successful way to entrepreneurship and obtaining wealth.
Yes, so I'm really excited about that. Our seminar is tomorrow, February 6th. And oh my goodness, being able to do this seminar, I know it started years back. And I know at first it wasn't me and my mom. And then, somehow I came into the picture. I told my mom, I was like, she always tells me, you're born for me. I'm like, I just feel like I was just born into entrepreneurship with you. But our seminar it's a time where we're able to pour into the lives of others, being able to give them the tools that we've learned through experience, and then stuff that of course we researched and took on to learn ourselves. And being able to have other entrepreneurs as speakers is always a plus. Being able to just share more information and pour into others that may not be able to get this information otherwise. And I know from this seminar, we then went on to write our book, which is titled Successful Way to Entrepreneurship and Obtaining Wealth. And in that book, we wanted to really go in detail taking things from the seminar, but then a lot more that isn't included or said in the seminar as well, especially for people that look like us. I know I was telling my mom, when I was in high school, there was a lot of things I learned because of the school I went to. The school I went to, it was a public school, but it was in a primarily Caucasian area. And sad to say, the learning, the teachings, it's very different from that of a school that is primarily African American or that of minorities. Right. And so with that being said, a lot of the stuff that I could say like, oh yeah, I learned that in high school. There are many Black and brown individuals, many minorities, so they didn't teach us that in high school. Right. In my high school, I was designing websites. They taught us about LLCs and business structures. They taught us about starting a business. There's so much about business that I learned in high school, which then, of course, I was kind of already doing it and being surrounded by it from my mom, but I learned a lot of business in school where there were many friends that I had outside of high school, they weren't learning that at all. No. And so with that being said, we knew that we wanted to create a book where it's broken down easily enough where a child can understand, and no matter how old you are, you can understand the steps in this book so that you can be successful in entrepreneurship. And it's not super long. We didn't want to make a 500-page novel, like, no. But I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you hear me? I had got a phone call, but we wanted to make a book that will be able to be that step-by-step guide so that regardless of where you are in business, you're able to get to the next step. And, with our seminars, I know with our next seminar that's coming up tomorrow, we are super excited about it. We have some amazing women on the panel that are going to be sharing and pouring into the lives of the attendees. And again, we're just really excited about it. We're going to be talking about business startup, business strategies, marketing, branding, and so much more. So we're really excited about this year's seminar. I know it's a little bit different for us because it's virtual. We're used to being face to face. But I know with, everything going on with COVID, a lot of things had to switch to the virtual world.
To chill.
Yeah.
Chill. So, and then, that's another question that I have. What is a lesson that you learned during the pandemic? I mean, it's still ongoing, but you had to have learned something.
Yes, I know for me, the biggest lesson that I learned was not to give up, regardless of what it looked like. I know I can say last year, 2020, which at first I used to feel bad for being saying this, but 2020 for me was not a terrible year. Right. Yes, there was COVID, mm-hmm. There was elections, there was, racial division among the country. There was a lot going on, but I can say for me personally and for my business, 2020 wasn't a terrible year. 2020, I will say, was a year where it's God showed a lot of people, especially me, I feel, was just, you have to trust me. With so much uncertainty that 2020 brought, as far as not knowing what the government wanted to do, whether in the means of keeping the cities open, all you could really do is trust God. I will say it really highlighted the aspect of what it is to be an entrepreneur. I know I tell people this, being an entrepreneur, it really is a faith walk. Right. And regardless of what your religion is, not every day in entrepreneurship, you're going to know what's going to happen. Right. And with that being said, you have to have faith and trust God that, okay, you brought me this far, you're going to keep me. If you did it before, you're going to do it again. And I know me personally, I can say based off of where my life was prior to entrepreneurship, all I could do was trust God. And honestly, the entire 2020, I didn't go without. God did exactly what he's always done. He's kept me and my son through it all. So the biggest thing I learned was, regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what's going on in the government, what's going on in your city, your town, trust God.
Well, God is at the forefront for sure, and a lot of people, and it's interesting that you say that, because a lot of people, some experience bad things, some people didn't experience that. Some people came up during the pandemic. If you sat on Facebook and watched, you saw a lot of people recreate themselves, reinvent themselves. So that was an important thing to learn. You're not your situation, and you can't keep going. So I like that you mentioned that quite a few times. My next question is, how does the word resilience apply to you?
Oh, it applies to me because there was many times I wanted to give up. I will share this story with you. And this is actually, I just shared this story, I think it was yesterday or the day before. About 5 years ago, I was in the depths of depression and anxiety in a very unhealthy marriage, a toxic marriage. And one night in particular, I found myself just ready to give up. I was sick of being alone. I was sick of being tired. I was sick of being in pain. I was sick and tired. And I didn't want to continue. I was like, this is it. And I found myself with a pair of scissors crying in the corner next to my washer and dryer, just in tears. And the only thing I could think of was just negative thoughts. No one loves you. No one's going to miss you. Just end it. Why are you here? You're just taking up space. Just end it. And as I'm crying, hands shaking, scissors in my hand, my mind got flooded with positive thoughts in the midst of deciding on what decision to make. And I shared that story to say that is why resilience applies to me. Through everything that I've been through everything that could have taken me out, that's tried to keep me down, God continued to remind me that, one, you are strong and you do have strength. And in those moments, the strength was probably maybe this big, but it was just enough to give me just enough fight to keep pushing, just enough fight to see another day, just enough fight to be where I am today. And regardless of what I go through, what comes my way, what situation, I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm going to keep walking in purpose. So that is why resilience applies to me.
I love it. The faith of a mustard seed.
Yes.
I got it. Received. So if you had words of encouragement for young entrepreneurs, young mothers, because the most important thing that you highlighted, not even the most, you highlighted many important things, was mental health in the Black community, that especially with young mothers, that we don't talk about. So if you had some words of advice or encouragement to give someone, especially our young Black girls, what would that look like?
For one, it's okay not to be okay. But most importantly, it's okay to get help. I saw a therapist, and therapy helps. There's nothing to be ashamed of to say, I need to seek help. It shows strength, the fact that you know what, right now I'm not weak, but I need to get help so that I can, or right now I'm not strong, but let me get help so I can become strong or stronger. So my biggest advice is, it's okay to get help. Speak up. Don't stay silent. I know for me, I went years of silently hurting, silently being in pain. if there's something wrong, someone will listen to you. Someone will be there for you. So seek help. Don't try to go through life or go through things all by yourself just so you can say, oh, I'm strong. We all need help, and it's okay to get help.
Amen. I love it. So mature. 26. 26 years old and so mature. I love it. Not, I mean,
Thank
you
you.
are an adult, but you know, older people like my age, we still make mistakes. We still, rather move with our heart than our minds at times. So I love that you're just so um, wise beyond your years, as you stated earlier in the interview.
Yeah.
Been an entrepreneur from the womb. I love it, girl.
Yeah. Oh, my first word was business.
Business, yes, girl. Multiple, not one, multiple. So, how many businesses do you have?
Oh my. Okay, so I have one by myself, and then me and my mom have four. Yeah,
Four.
four. Yeah.
And I think that's phenomenal. When you're in business with a parent, how has that worked out?
It has been fun. I know my mom sometimes, like, especially when I started Daya Luv Cosmetics, and I'm like, okay, yes, mom, I love you and I love what we're doing, but I still have to do follow my own dreams and my own passions. At first, it was like, what? You're leaving? I'm like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm still here, but I still have to make sure that I do what I'm passionate about, because in the end, if I don't, I'll look up and I'm 30, 35, 40, and I'm just unhappy, or I have this feeling of resentment. So I will say, me and my mom, we work really well together. One thing that I can say that we've practiced over the years is just communication. I know for a moment it was hard for her not to see me as her little girl and to see me as a grown woman, but not just a grown woman, a partner. And so that, as a parent, I feel like that could be like a hard switch to make.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it has been a blessing, and we balance each other out. We're like night and day, so it works out.
And I'm glad you said that. I have two more questions. My
Mhm.
next question is Black history. How do you look to make an impact?
Oh, Black history. Well, I feel like the biggest impact that I would like to make on Black history is just being able to, I guess, when I'm no longer here, the biggest thing I want people to be able to say about Sondaya and Daya Luv Cosmetics and just my brand in general is that in everything that I did, I aim to encourage, inspire, and motivate. Encourage Black women to stand strong. Motivate Black women to rise up. And inspire Black women to continue to be great. That is the impacts that I hope to make, just to be able to encourage, inspire, and motivate. So many times we put each other down, so many times we don't support each other, and I hope to make a difference in those aspects. I know one of the goals that I have for my business is I want to be able to give back to other entrepreneurs. So that is a big goal of mine, to be able to use my business to help other businesses or other young women or men be able to start something that they're passionate about, and have the resources to be able to do that. So yeah.
I love it. And they're all obtainable, everything that you said.
Yes.
So, where can our viewers follow you and purchase from your cosmetic line?
Oh, well, I'm on all platforms. First, I'll start off with they can purchase Daya Luv Cosmetics, Daya Luv Cosmetics at dayaluvcosmetics.com. I have got the little box here.
Yes.
So yes, they can purchase my products from my website. I also am on Instagram and Facebook, which I have my store connected to there as well at Daya Luv Cosmetics for Facebook and Instagram. And then for me, I'm practically on every platform. So I'm on LinkedIn, Sondaya Weddle, Instagram, Love Daya, Facebook, Daya Luv, Snapchat, Daya Luv, TikTok, Sondaya Luv, Twitter, Sondaya Luv. So, but the best way to get all those links is if you head to my Instagram at LoveDaya. The link in my bio is a link tree, so it's it's super easy to be able to connect with me on all my platforms from there. And I also have a YouTube channel. So, yeah, I'm very social.
And Clubhouse. Let's not forget
Yes,
the podcast.
yes, and Clubhouse at Daya Luv. So yes, I'm on a lot of platforms, but I want to connect with everyone. So
And as an entrepreneur, you should. So, with that being said, thank you so much for your time. I'm so full just from you sharing your story, your testimony, and just being 100% transparent because other women need you. So, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.